All right. Welcome, everyone. This is Tracy Wagner with Versatile Inspirations. And today we're going to be discussing what crystal Reiki is and what you can expect from a session if you so choose to work with crystal Reiki. So let me screen share and we'll get started. All right. So like I said earlier, we're going to be discussing crystal Reiki. So if this is your first time hearing about Reiki, or you've heard about Reiki, but you just happened upon this video and you wanted to know more about crystal Reiki, let me give you a little bit of backstory on what Reiki is. So Reiki, the first part is Rei, which means spiritual wisdom. And the last part of the word is Ki, which is life force energy. So it's that life force energy that creates and works with all of us. And so that life force energy and spiritual wisdom will actually produce the Reiki. So what does Reiki do? It's considered a holistic wellness practice. It relieves stress. It creates balance. It clears blockages. It cleanses energy. It relaxes. And the most important part is it assists your bodies and your being's a natural healing process. Now, Reiki is energy, and because we are energy, it actually helps to promote that holistic wellness, that natural healing process within each of us. So what's crystal Reiki? What it does is it kind of does what it sounds like it does. It combines the power of crystals with the flow of Reiki energy. So you're using the power of all these different crystals, and not just the crystals, but the gemstones as well, or rocks, stones, all those kinds of beautiful Mother Earth gifts that she's given us. The crystals actually have an energy about them, and when you combine the flow of the Reiki energy, it just amplifies. So some of the origins of crystal Reiki, it's not very old. So crystal and stone healing has been dated back 10,000, 30,000, and even in some cases 60,000 years ago. Some say even more. Crystal Reiki, though, not so long ago. Documents say around the 80s or the 90s, 1980s or 1990s. But it probably is earlier. Though the use of crystals, gemstones, etc., and other tools and techniques during Reiki sessions may have been used without documentation. So a lot of people use different instruments like pendulums or crystals or grids or lots of different things, even tarot cards and other tools when they do Reiki sessions. And this is okay. This is actually an individual type of modality. You can tailor it to what helps you. What do you have a tendency towards as far as things that help you, things that make you feel better? It could be essential oils. It could be flower essences. It could be other scents like candles. It could be anything, music. Anything that you can combine with Reiki. I call them add-ons. And so even though I was taught crystal Reiki, even if you aren't a crystal Reiki practitioner, someone who was attuned with the crystal Reiki, you can still pick up gemstones, you can still pick up quartz crystals, and you can work with them. To me, it's an add-on. I just call them add-ons because they're just things that you can work with that help you either in a session, when you're receiving a session, or when you are conducting a session on a client, a friend, family, or just anyone, a pet, plants, businesses, anything that use Reiki on, you can actually use the crystal Reiki with them. Now, just because, like I said, even though the documentation only says it was from like the 1980s, 1990s era, people probably still use them. They just didn't document it, and they probably taught others how to do it as well. Because if you've ever learned how to work with crystals, especially with crystals with the chakras, like the original 7 chakras, then you can apply it at any time. So, crystal Reiki, it is a holistic practice. Now, something I haven't talked about because I find it a little, some people find it very intimidating and they don't like to pursue Reiki or other holistic practices because of these reasons. Now, some people consider holistic practices pseudoscience because there's not technically proof that it does anything. Even though people do say that there's proof because you can see it, people feel better, they're more relaxed, it helps the energy flow. And I think that pseudoscience may actually end up changing, because I think the more that we're able to prove that these holistic practices actually benefit people, the more that the pseudoscience term, I think, is just going to just kind of float away to nothing. Because it actually has been proven to work. Reiki, crystal healing, all of these different holistic practices are becoming more mainstream. And so with that, that pseudoscience is probably going to just kind of fade in the background, because there's a lot of people who believe that it works. Probably about 10 or 15 years ago, you wouldn't see as many people believing in acupuncture. And I was actually introduced to acupuncture from my doctor, my physician. Actually thought of, because of the way I like to use holistic practices rather than go under the knife or anything like that right away, she actually suggested for my carpal tunnel to go see an acupuncturist, and maybe that would work rather than going under the knife right away. So I did, and it took me about a year to heal from the carpal tunnel, which was in both of my hands and pretty severe from after having the test done, which is extremely painful, just to let you know. It took about a year, but I don't have to go hardly at all anymore. I go because I love acupuncture. It's a wonderful holistic practice. And just like that, I give myself Reiki treatments, and it is wonderful. It helped me to de-stress, especially during when I broke my ankle just recently last year. And being able to heal from that using Reiki really helped me to be able to naturally heal and allow myself to naturally heal. So it was wonderful to use. So I really believe that pseudoscience is probably just going to go fade away. It's also considered esoteric. So it's not the mainstream. It's not going to the doctor and having things, modern medicine, work for you. It's a little esoteric. It's out of the norm. And some say it's a placebo, but honestly, doctors give out placebos from what I've been told. So if you're going to be getting a placebo maybe from a doctor, wouldn't the placebo just be fine to actually give yourself Reiki treatments? I think so. But nothing compares to getting a physical and knowing what you're up against. When you know what, like if you have high blood pressure or if you have anxieties or migraines or anything like that, it's good to know those things and be able to work with them to actually help not only the modern medicine, but also the holistic practices that you work with that will help you, and you can maybe offer yourself some different ideas on what kinds of holistic practices that you can use. Crystal Reiki is really good for anxiety and stress and really the energetic being that you are. This Crystal Reiki really helps to work with especially the chakra system and the aura. So that energy field that you carry around every day inside that physical body and that protrudes a little bit from your physical body, then this is what the Crystal Reiki will actually really help. So the holistic practices actually work with mind, body, soul, and spirit. Spirit is actually where the Reiki energy comes from. So you're working with that as well. So you're working with the holistic practice of Crystal Reiki. You're working with mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual self. The experience of working with Crystal Reiki will be that it removes blockages, energetic blockages. It will help if you have any blockages within your subtle body or your energetic body, within your chakra system especially, it helps to remove those. It also harmonizes your chakras. The frequency of each of your chakras, it harmonizes them and helps them to flow like they should or spin like they should. Crystal Reiki really helps to relieve stress, anxiety, sluggishness, or anything of that sort. It really helps to help you and your energy flow better. It clears your aura of attachments. As you walk around daily, we're all bombarded with ideas and thoughts and things and to-do lists and whatnot. And just like that, our aura and our energetic body is inundated with such things as well. Pollutants in the air, the water, negative energy. When you walk into rooms, it just kind of bombards it. And any kind of attachments that are not necessarily for your best good or others' best good as well. So the Crystal Reiki will actually help to release those attachments and detach them. Crystal Reiki also infuses positive energy of, anything that has bombarded us, any pollutants or anything like that. What's left over is Reiki infusing those areas with positive energy. When you combine that with the crystals, especially with the chakra system, if you're working with the chakras, each of the colors that you choose for those 7 chakras, the energy that you're putting in there will actually help them to spin better, to harmonize them, and be able to just function better. And when that happens, you're going to feel much better too. You're not going to be so stressed. You're not going to be so sluggish. You're going to have energy and your vitality. And it's amazing. Also, it brings power back to each individual. So those attachments that have been detached and are blessed with the light of Reiki, that will actually help you to bring the power back. Why? Because you're going to be filled with so much better energy, positive energy. The energy that had been going to someone else or something else is going to flow back to you. And it's just going to lighten you up. It's going to feel so much better. So, like I said, the crystal Reiki really works well with our chakra system. So, with that, the colors of stones that you use will determine which area of the chakras that you're working with. And you can align those up. Like if you're laying down, you can put those on yourself or someone else, or you can use a grid that shows the body, the outline of a body, and you can place the crystals on those, especially if you're doing distance healing, distance crystal Reiki. Or you can just grab a handful of quartz crystals and use those. Just be aware that because the quartz crystals are clear, those are going to amplify, they're going to bring back power, they're going to clear and cleanse. Also, if you use a smoky quartz are actually really good for pulling out any of the negative energy, any of the energy that needs to just be cleared and released. Smoky quartz are really good to use for that. But you can just grab a whole bunch of quartz crystals and those will work just beautifully. And like I said, for distance crystal Reiki or even just distance Reiki, you can just get a form like what's on the screen, and you can color coordinate those chakras with the stones. And you can use the crystal Reiki in that way for distance healing. Or if you have someone or someone like a client or just for yourself, you can lie down and set those stones around where the chakras are. Now be aware also that chakras are in different places for different people. And so you'll need to determine where those chakras are, and then you can place the stones over them. Remember, no matter whether it's crystal Reiki, shamanic Reiki, or Lemurian Atlantis Reiki, or Karuna Reiki, it's all about the Reiki, the foundational principles of Reiki 1, 2, and 3. These are the foundations. These other things, I consider them add-ons. They add a different dynamic to your Reiki practice. So adding on crystals, adding on essences, adding on tones or music is a beautiful way to add just that much more to your Reiki practice. And with it, you'll be able to offer so much more to not only yourself, but to your clients as well. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I'm so grateful that you were able to spend some time with me. Remember, if you can grab some crystals, no matter what they are, whether they are just a bunch of quartz crystals or if you have more of like amethyst or anything like that, feel free to grab them and use them and try your hand at crystal Reiki. You'll be surprised at the benefits that you receive energetically. You will have such a wonderful sense of just a peppiness to your step because your energy is being cleared. Your energy is being infused with so much beautiful divine Reiki light. It is just a wonderful experience. Thank you again, and as always, I'm sending you and yours love, light, and eternal blessings. Take care.